Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Clan. Today we'll be talking about a huge link between Hedera and Bitcoin mining. June 2021 saw the nationwide banning of Bitcoin mining across China, which at the time was the leader in Bitcoin mining in the world and was accountable for 3/4 of all Bitcoin mining at its peak in September 2019. This widely publicized ban led to a 38% fall in Bitcoin mining. Upon this crackdown, there has been a wide-scale exodus of miners in China. This in turn has led to the US becoming the top global destination for Bitcoin miners. According to the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, 35.4% of Bitcoin hash rate is now taking place in the States, which is an astronomical 428% increase from September of last year. Within the US, New York is top with about 19.9% of the country's hash rate. Next up is Kentucky at 18.7%, Georgia at 17.3%, and 14% in Texas. The significant influx of Bitcoin miners into the nation may have been encouraged, namely due to the low energy costs provided by states such as Texas. Texas also has a number of its governors championing Bitcoin and the overall blockchain industry. One such governor is Greg Abbott of Texas, who tweeted, "Blockchain is becoming industry that Texas needs to be involved in. I just signed a law for Texas to create a master plan for expanding the blockchain industry in Texas." The significant influx of miners in the US, most notably to Texas, has encouraged a number of pioneering companies taking a stranglehold of the Bitcoin industry in the state. One such group is Arcos Energy Group. Arcos Energy Corporation was established in 2002 as a traditional oil and gas exploration and production company with producing assets in Texas. Recently, Arcos made a strategic decision to begin the process of leveraging its natural gas production to power the generation of digital assets through proof-of-work mining activities. Arcos' strategic vision is to continue to acquire and produce stranded energy assets with a focus on environmental and corporation sustainability. Arcos Energy Corporation will see it directly use the oil and gas it gathers to directly power mining machines, which will actively seek to propose new blocks in the Bitcoin blockchain, and as a result, the corporation will obtain Bitcoin as a reward for such measures. Arcos Energy Corporation's mining strategy will see it initially generate 3.2 megawatts of energy to mine Bitcoin. The corporation will expand its mining strategy, where it plans to increase its capacity to 11 megawatts of energy in the near future. The corporation's long-term mining capacity will be expanded to 125 megawatts of energy to ultimately mine more Bitcoin. Despite the eye-watering levels of energy the corporation expects to use to mine Bitcoin, presently and over the long term, Arcos Energy Corporation's abundant exposure to natural gas reserves and oil will ensure that the corporation will face relatively low monetary expenses to produce the desired energy to mine Bitcoin. It is estimated that costs associated with electricity production associated with mining Arcos Energy Corporation will face will amount to $0.0155 per kilowatt of energy per hour. This is significantly lower compared to the global mean cost of $0.046 per kilowatt of energy per hour, and even lower compared to the North American median cost of $0.05 per kilowatt of energy per hour. These significantly low energy production fees makes it no surprise why Texas has become a hub for Bitcoin mining, not only across the US but also the world. Alongside Arcos Energy Corporation's deep dive into the Bitcoin mining industry, the corporation has pledged to detail and report carbon emissions it produces whilst mining. Arcos Energy Corporation has partnered with Envision Blockchain to actively enable the means to track and report carbon emission developments while mining is conducted. Carbon emissions will be tracked using Internet of Things sensor technology. The solution will track the carbon footprint specifically of the digital asset proof-of-work mining activity of Arcos. Data will be processed through the Hedera Hashgraph DAG consensus network and stored within their platform ecosystem. The data will then be run through a W3 compliant system for EESG validation, utilizing digital identification and verified credential standards. Arcos Energy Corporation's partnership with Envision Blockchain and in extension Hedera Hashgraph will provide a means for carbon emission datasets to be actively logged onto the Hedera consensus service in an immutable fashion. Immutability provided by the Hedera network in this instance will ensure datasets are seamlessly and reliably logged without the risk of such information being corrupted or changed. This factor will provide a means of enabling an accurate means of determining the amount of carbon produced by the corporation during mining procedures. Furthermore, with Arcos Energy Corporation expected to use significant amounts of energy in the near and long term, a network which has the potential to validate significant levels of transactions would be required, with Hedera offering the ability to validate over 10,000 transactions per second and potentially millions when sharding mechanisms are induced. Hedera is an amped solution to provide validity to carbon production Arcos Energy Corporation desires. The potential for numerous transaction validations this project would require will lead to invariable increases in the demand for HBAR tokens to act as gas for transaction verification. Increases in the demand for HBARs will see synonymous increases in the price of the token, especially when energy consumption Arcos Energy Corporation is expected to produce increases over the long run. In response to this exciting new partnership, Arcos Energy Corporation's CEO Bo Ritz stated, "Arcos Energy is committed to full transparency of its greenhouse gas emissions, down to the metric ton. It is vitally important that data is trustless and transparent in order to satisfy coming emissions reporting regulations. The Reveal Digital Asset MRV system accomplishes that for us through the utilization of Hedera's Guardian. With Bitcoin mining looking increasingly likely to increase in Texas and across the US as a whole, further organizations may seek to leverage Hedera's network to log carbon production and other use cases. The leveraging of Hedera's consensus service adds to a growing list of real-world applications Hedera is directly associated with. Hedera is slowly becoming the go-to platform for enterprise utility across the world." What are your thoughts on Hedera? What price will Hedera reach in 5 years' time? Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click on the notification bell. Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.